Right, William H. Macy has had a run of vivid, true-to-life characters, but his most iconic role to date gotta be Jerry Lungard, the hopeless car salesman in Fargo, yeah?
I'm cooperating here.
Before that, Bill was known for his recurring role on ER and for his work with the great playwright David Mamet. You know, he actually helped David Mamet get his start, and together they did the movies that helped launch Bill's career. Movies like this one, Homicide.
We'll bust this big criminal. We'll swagger around.
After Fargo, which got him an Oscar nod, his career took off big time. But to Bill, his real success is actually his marriage to Felicity Huffman from Desperate Housewives.
You haven't heard?
He's got an awful lot going on right now, a juicy role on the cable series Shameless.
That's the problem with working. Too much instability, stress.
And he plays a priest in this heartfelt new film that had its Canadian premiere right here at the Toronto International Film Festival. It's called The Sessions.
I understand even among non-believers, the most common expression of sexual ecstasy is, oh God.
Please welcome to the show, William H. Macy.
Thank you. Thank you. Hello, Ed. Hello. Thank you all. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, sir.
How are things?
Swell.
Swell?
Things are good, yeah. I did this little film called The Sessions, and everybody seems to be liking it, and that's always a good thing.
Any small pleasure in being a priest who gets to, a Catholic priest who gets to dole out indulgences in this film, essentially?
I like the fact that I play a priest in this thing, and a priest on the right side of the issue. Back in the States, they talk about the war on religion, and for a long time I thought, well, what poppycock that is. There's no war on religion, but in fact, there is. Some of it well-deserved. I think the religious right has overtaken a lot of the religions, and yes, they need to be taken down a notch. But you say priest, and you think child molestation, but the fact of the matter is 99% of the priests are doing great work and really helping people, and I love the fact that I get to play a priest who's faced with a moral dilemma and makes the right decision. He's a good guy.
For all your accomplishments in your career, and there have been many, I suppose what you'd hear a lot is your biggest one is the fact that you keep this relationship you're in together for so long. You and your wife, that's an incredible run. And you're both actors.
In Hollywood years, yes, we've been married for hundreds of years.
Right.
I can't take credit for it. It's Felicity Huffman. I won the lottery. What can I tell you?
I have read that you always stand up. Is that still true, or is that just something you guys perpetuate, that you stand up when she walks in the room?
It's still true. When I got married, I wrote my wedding vows, which I thought were quite lovely and poetical. And 2 days before I read them, and I thought, this is horse shit. I don't even know what it means. It's just trash. So I threw them all away, and I made a list. And those were my vows. I told her I'd stand up when she comes to the table. I'd build her a dream house, that someday, somehow, she would have a closet that was big enough, that I would never hold children or pets before her, that I would never make fun of her publicly. And it was a good list, and I stand when she comes to the table. And if I forget, she'll clear her throat and wait.
You married royalty. Well, we're talking about the idea of exposing yourself, and one has to put themselves over the line at times. You know, a lot of people in the public space, there's an expectation that they will do more than just be a performer and get behind causes and things that are important to them. There's a clip that I'm sure you clearly remember this.
I'm simply asking you utopian rules. Keep politics out of my fallopian tube.
Thank you. Just in case you missed it, I rhymed utopian rubes with fallopian tubes. It's one of my proudest moments.
I mean, we're talking about the Roe versus Wade situation here, and
yes. Felicity is a big supporter of NARAL, and she asked if I would write a ukulele song because she realized it needed levity. And the first song I wrote was about a singing vagina, and she said, maybe not. She said, there will be congressmen and Superior Court judges there, maybe not. So I wrote a song from the point of view of a young, conservative Republican woman.
as a father, what's harder to talk about, sex or religion?
Well, I used to say, the second my kids, I have 2 girls. Oh, God. I'm going to send them someplace really cold and really Catholic until they're 40. But if I'm going to be honest about it, and this film sort of brings it up, I'm recently on a bit of a bandwagon because I feel like the whole perversity with which the United States deals with sexuality is reaching some sort of critical mass. The MPAA board that rates our films is completely comfortable with having a 13, 14-year-old watch a young girl be disemboweled and beheaded. That's okay. But you can't see her breast because we don't want to corrupt our youth. Mm-hmm. And I think it's time for somebody to say, sex is good. It's really good. It's great.
And sexuality is okay.
Totally. Even the bad sex I've had was pretty good. And violence is bad. It's always bad. It's ugly and it's bad, and we got to reverse them. This film is rated. What is this film? Is it R-rated? It might be R-rated, and Batman is PG-13.
Right.
Well, now that's ill. You know, getting back to my daughters, in my heart of hearts, this is what I'd love. I'd love them to be well-adjusted, lusty women who love men, or whoever they love, but who are comfortable and happy with their bodies and their sensuality, and to take all the garbage that I inherited, and it's not my parents' fault because they inherited it too, but I think it's got to end with me. And so, as I said, I married well, but we're trying to be just dead on honest with our daughters about this stuff. My wife went to see the Vagina Monologues. Have you ever seen it? It's a magnificent series of shows, and they have... Felicity was asked to do it, and she ended up not doing it, but the play so affected her that she came back, and Sophia was still in diapers. And from that day on, Felicity, every time she'd change her diapers, she would say, "You have the most beautiful body. I love your vagina. You are beautiful. You're perfect." So my daughter, Sean Tanaka was an assistant. He's a Canadian lad. He's Japanese and Canadian. It's impossible to be more polite than that.
Perfect combination.
Yes. But Sophia, at age 4, was on a set, and she looked at Sean and she said, "Look, Sean, look at my beautiful vagina," and lifted up her. And poor Sean, he ran from the set, and we had to...
Which was the right reaction, I think.
I know, we had to give him a Valium before he'd come out of the trailer. He was so terrified by this 3-year-old.
Stick around, more with William H. Macy right after this.
All right, coming up, we're going to take Bill back to the early days.
You always wear your wife's fabric softener? What?
And a best-selling crime writer, actor, and stand-up. Feeling badly about yourself yet? Mark Billingham on our Three Things panel.
Okay, tonight we're talking about life, commitments, and promises, such as, my darling, I promise never to show those videos we made to anyone else.
Wear your wife's fabric softener?
What?
So that's where it went.
Still using that white sheet. Try Cling-Free, the do-it-all softener.
Do it all?
Look, the white sheet's paper thin, but Cling-Free's thicker, does more.
Only Cling-Free combines super softeners, static stoppers, a fresh fragrance, and a deodorant.
More convenient and easier to find.
So I won't be wearing your softener anymore.
Super Soft Cling-Free, the do-it-all fabric softener.
All right, you're back here on the program with William H. Macy. There are a couple of reasons to play that, because there are a lot of...
I can't wait.
Well, listen. Disconnected from you, there are a lot of people out there who really want to be good actors, and they get out there and they think that, you know, taking a job in a commercial is beneath them, or they don't want to get into that world. Or maybe if I become a commercial actor, I can't become something else. But you can, right? You just have to put the work in.
It's a dicey thing to do for a living because... Well, it's not about telling the truth, is it? The way you measure that is, did you sell Cling-Free? And that's not what we do on stage or in a film. The task there is to tell the truth under imaginary circumstances. So they're allied arts. You know, I will never denigrate commercials, though, because I've seen some 30-second commercials that did a lot more than films that lasted an hour and a half.
Absolutely. If you got a chance to go back and tell that kid something, would you tell him something different?
He wouldn't listen, so what's the point? I don't know. I'm trying to love my age and stop making fun of the fact that I'm the old fart in the room usually. And oops, I just did it again, didn't I? But I'm trying to enjoy this part of my life. My wife, rather indelicately, said recently, well, you're in your third act. What are you going to do? And I couldn't get my breath for about 20 minutes when I realized, because third acts are notoriously short.
That's the downside of all your theater experience. You know what that means. Yeah. The film is called The Sessions. You really need to see it. William H. Macy, everybody. Thank you. Thank you so much. Good joy. Thank you. I like that.